Hi, namaste and welcome. My name is Jeanne Heileman, and I wanted to explain to you mantra because some of my classes on Yoga Vibes are now weaving some mantra, and for many of us, it'll sound kind of weird and scary, so I wanted to explain something. Mantra is, it's basically a form of vibration. It's about vibration. And so let's go back for a moment. This is going with the philosophy and the understanding, and many scientists and physicists agree with this, that pretty much everything that's living vibrates. So, for instance, even the flower that's blooming, that takes maybe a couple of hours, that's a form of vibration. My speech certainly is a form of vibration, and for someone who can't hear very well, we're all very familiar with people who can't hear. They put their hands on the floor and they feel the vibration of music, and they can get a sense of music. So sound travels on vibration, and vibration can be as big speakers nearby, and you feel the pulsing at a rock concert. It can be as subtle as the blooming of a flower. All of these vibrations are out into the world, and we actually can feel their effect. So even though we don't see something and we can't hear something that's happening, we can feel the effect of it across the globe. That's actually kind of interesting. Then if our speech is creating a vibration, my action moving in the room creates a form of a vibration. What comes before action and speech? Our thoughts create vibrations. And before some of us start to say, that's not true, think about it for a moment. Have you ever walked into a room where two people who've been arguing, and then they stop arguing because you walked into the room? They're not saying anything, but you can almost feel the argument. You can tell because of what's going on. Their thoughts are still spinning. There's vibration. We can feel what the thoughts do is they start to affect our breathing. And that affects our words and our speech and our actions. And so with all of this, and it can be overwhelming, with all of this, if our thoughts are wired a certain way, and for most of us, we're wired to go a certain way with our thoughts, having a certain song underlying that's I'm not good enough, or why isn't anyone calling me, or I need more, or something. There's a constant, for each of us, there's a constant song that's always playing. And how do we stop that song? And so one thing you can do is say, well, I'll just say I am good enough, and everybody does love me. And there are many positive, affirmative thought processes and organizations that encourage that. And I support them, and I've actually used many to help me. But there's something about vibration with mantra. Every letter of the Sanskrit alphabet is wired to a part of one of our chakras. So when we use Sanskrit, we aren't just saying, oh, I am good enough. We don't even have to say, I am good enough. Sometimes we get our conscious out of the way. But what it does is it goes deep underneath our breath into very, very, very subtle patterns, and it starts to rewire us on an extremely subtle way. So for instance, I could pick a mantra. So hum is the one that I've used in the meditation and in the class. It literally translates to I am the divine. And now that doesn't mean I am the divine and I'm great and you should kiss my feet. It's not that sort of thing. But what it's tapping into is that there is graciousness and goodness inside of me. And many of us in our society, in our world, we don't feel that great about ourselves. And it's hard to believe it. So by using the mantra, and especially weaving it with the breath, what it does is it goes into whatever wiring that we've got. Conditioning that told us we're not good enough, or we have to work harder, or goodness knows what your conditioning or inner song is. And what it does is it starts to break that pattern away. You won't necessarily know it, again, as I say, in a conscious level. But what it does is it starts to undo it unconsciously. And so we don't have to know it intelligently, book knowledge, but we start to feel it. And you'll start to feel this sense, the main realization is that the divine dwells within us, as us. So hum, using mantra. And if so hum isn't a mantra that's comfortable for you, if you come from another religion using prayer, you can certainly use prayer. And prayers are a form of mantra. Or simply Om. Just repeating Om. It is said in so many different types of scriptures that that mantra has everything in it. And certainly if you're given a mantra, that it has its own power. And if you haven't been given a mantra and you want a mantra, the simple ones like Om or So Hum. Some of my friends in different styles of yoga use Om Namah Shivaya. There are other ones, the Gayatri and the Mahamritryunjaya are extremely potent. They're longer, but they're extremely potent. I highly encourage us staying with a smaller one at first to really get a sense. And the idea is that you do this a lot, like hundreds of thousands of times. And you might start with it out loud, so hum, so hum. But the idea is that you're doing it with your breath, and then it finds its own pace to where it slides in, and you're not mentally working it. But it slides in, and it just, you'll find instead of thinking of that song that you're always thinking of, or thinking about that problem that you're always thinking about, the mantra slides in. And that, I will tell you, is better than the best birthday present ever, because that tells you that you're starting to get rewired and not go to your old patterns and habits. And then keep doing it, because then it starts to come up even more, and then it starts to come through your actions and through your words. And that's how we start to transform, and our friends are like, what's going on with you? And you don't have to tell them anything. You didn't change your diet or your haircut. But we change from the inside out, and it doesn't cost a lot. So give mantra a try. Start with something like So Hum. It's so valuable, and I don't want to take more of your precious time to add words, because the biggest thing is to experience it. And if you don't like that, use Om. And certainly if you're connected with a Jewish tradition or some form of Christian tradition, Amen, or any sort of Jewish word that works for you also is as good. There is something I will tell you I know about the Sanskrit. I'm not as schooled with the others, but it's more about just letting our mind hang on to something instead of letting it go to its old habits. Give it a try. You're very welcome to reach out to me on my website at JeanneHeileman.com. I'm happy to help out. I would love to help anybody so that we can all feel better, because it will make a better world. So thank you for your time. Give the classes a try, and thank you for trying.